the three icons. Well, first we have Buddhism, and then we have philosophy, and then science. Then you change to religion, and then you change it to thinker, and what's in the middle? Metaphysics. Metaphysics. Yes. Should I say this? People, when they go to our website, because you have the Buddha icon, the image there, so they're thinking we have something to do with Buddhism. And in our first year lectures, we mentioned something with the soul.
Yeah.
And that right away, a lot of people already
turn away from it.
Because it's that Buddhism doesn't have soul. That's because of the definition.
Yeah.
So I think we have to clarify this, otherwise it will be...
Fortunately, it takes, again, pretty much go to year 3 hard journey before we can clarify. When Shakyamuni Buddha preached, most of his students are either from the Brahman or Jain.
Yes.
In fact, these Brahman and Jain scholars, they don't come to learn from Buddha. They come to challenge the Buddha. People say there's an enlightened person, and his name is Shakyamuni. I want to see whether you're really enlightened or not. So when they both come, they ask one question. You say you are liberated. How do you attain liberation? So, in India, they believe in the cycle of rebirth. So the Brahman will ask, how do you break the cycle of rebirth? In Brahmanism, we break the cycle of rebirth because our soul ascend and merge with Brahman. Right? Brahman is God. So when our soul merges with God's soul, or in today's language, when my spirit merges with the Holy Spirit, I'm now in heaven. I'm liberated. Right? So that's how the Brahman asks their question. When the Jains come, they will say, in Jainism, our teacher Mahavira taught us we can attain Arahat. How do you attain Arahat? So let's take the Jain first, okay? The Jain question is, how do you attain Arahat? Shakyamuni says, well, pretty much the same way as you guys. Right? You purify lifetime after lifetime. You purify all your karma until you have no more desire to rebirth. So without rebirth, the cycle of life and death starts, and you escape from the cycle of life and death. So that's how you attain Arahat. Now the critical question the Jain asks will be, but your soul is imprisoned in your body. When your soul is imprisoned in your body, you're not totally free yet. If Shakyamuni said, I agree, you're right, then Shakyamuni become a Jain. There's no difference between Buddhism and Jainism anymore. So Shakyamuni said, this thing called soul that you imagine is imprisoned in your body don't exist. When you think of soul, you are trying to create an entity which represent yourself permanently. Let me tell you the no-self principle. You mistaken the 5 aggregates, the 5 skandhas, as your true self. So then he talked about the inferno of the 5 aggregates.
Yeah.
Alright? Now, we have a Buddhism which is completely separate and distinct from Jainism. Because Shakyamuni was able to profess a no self, no soul principle and explain at a very, very neuro scientific level how the soul is an imaginary creation by your skandhas, by your perception of reality. That's how profound the psychology. So now the Jains said, oh my God, that's right, I don't have to die before I attain full liberation. So the Jains stay and become his disciples. When they hear the 5 aggregates, the Santa's lecture, they know this man is truly enlightened. They have never heard such lecture before. And because you don't have a soul to liberate, your body is no longer prison of your soul. Now you don't have to destroy your prison no more, because there's no one in the prison. That means you don't have to destroy your body no more. That means you don't have to do all those painful aesthetic practices, pulling your hair, don't eat. Just make yourself die as soon as possible, right? Those just slow suicide.
Practice of chanting. Like that.
No, chanting is the Brahman side. It has nothing to do with the Jain side. Okay. So the Jains are happy; they become Buddhists. That's how he talked about the no-self principle. Okay. Now, when the Brahmins come and say, look, I have to have a soul in order to merge with God. And Shakyamuni said, don't be foolish. There's no such thing as a soul. You're already liberated. And the Brahman said, if there's no soul, all this so-called merging soul and soul. It's nonsense. And they heard the 5 skandhas, no soul story, no self, no soul. That's fine, right? And they all attain Arahat. Now, is chapter 2. Chapter 1 is Shakyamuni taught no soul based on the no-self principle. The no-self principle is based on the 5 aggregates, 5 skandhas. In order for all these people who are so desperately not to return to earth. That's chapter 1. For people who don't want to return to earth, you teach them no soul.
So they can,
Now chapter 2 are the Bodhisattvas. They don't care about liberation for themselves. They want to return and return and return to help sentient beings. So in chapter 2, you have to say, you have to have a thing to recycle, to no soul, then who is coming to rebirth? Who has a grand vow?
I don't wear your pendant, but right now I feel heavy. I feel very heavy.
Actually, Bodhisattva is from Nagarjuna.
Exactly. Now, when Shakyamuni, during his lifetime, unfortunately, no Bodhisattva come and ask him to teach chapter 2.
No, after Nagarjuna.
Exactly. That's the problem.
And everybody think that from Buddha. It's called Nakajuna.
Yeah, because all these people come, they want to liberate. And liberate to them means break the cycle of rebirth. If Shakyamuni say, you know what? You can still be liberated without breaking the cycle of rebirth. Oh my God, this guy is not an enlightened Buddha. Right? This guy is talking nonsense, illogical. How can you say you can liberate and still keep on rebirth? You never break your cycle of rebirth and you claim liberation? No such thing for the entire India. You see, chapter 2 never happened.
So why is that not so many people believe in ghosts?
Because ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Souls are real. But Shakyamuni has no chance to teach that doctrine. You understand?
If there's no soul, that means no ghost. Right?
Exactly.
What depends on what you define soul.
Yeah, that's right. What Dr. Lo talking about calling.
Well, let's say the thing that reincarnates, okay?
Yeah.
The thing that rebirths. The thing that continues the cycle of rebirth.
You can call it anything. The energy.
Now the way Shakyamuni got around it is to say, the 5 senses create an illusion of self, and then your 12 dependent origins drive the cycle of rebirth. The cycle is driving itself. It doesn't need a thing to drive it. Yeah. Kind of. Mechanistically, the wheel runs, but, you still need. There's no such thing as a perpetual machine that does not require energy input. In other words, what Shakyamuni is saying, when that cycle is in motion, it will continue in motion unless you stop it, right? There's 2 ways to look at it. That statement is only true if that motion is in vacuum. Just like Newton's law. An object in motion will always be in motion in vacuum. Okay? But the world is not a vacuum. The entire universe is hardly a vacuum. You will encounter some matter, some other stuff, to some friction. So you need a driving force if it is to continue. So this 2, is again, left is right, right hand side is right? Now your thinking box has to expand. For those arahats, they don't want to hear no more, they already liberated. But the bodhisattvas are not happy with this. Right? And bodhisattvas say, there must be another way of liberation. The bodhisattva says, can we still be liberated when we keep on coming back rebirth, but not for myself, but for the benefit of other sentient beings? Is that doable? During Shakyamuni's lifetime, no one asked him. That belief system simply is unable to be established because the entire continent of India is bet against it, because the thinking box is that narrow. So from Shakyamuni to 500 years after Shakyamuni, up to Nagarjuna time, they rethink all this. And now the Mahayana come out. And they come out in a strong way. First they come out with Dang Bang. Tijang will never rest until all beings are liberated. But all beings will never be liberated, therefore he becomes immortal. And in the Didam Sutra, it states very clearly, people begin as some woman or some, and they have compassion for their mother, and then one lifetime, two lifetime, many lifetimes, they keep going back until they become Didam.
Really?
So but Mahayana has to wait for the entire continent, thinking box grow bigger. So today, if people only heard a tiny little bit about Buddhism, about no self, no soul, and they think AWE is forgery of Buddhism, I'm too bad. That means you haven't even read the Didam Sutra. You haven't read any of the Mahayana Sutra, and you jump to that conclusion. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, very.
Too bad, They belong to the tradition that teach only chapter 1 with that limited thinking box of liberation for the self only, for the one person.
Yeah.
They don't care about liberation of anyone else.